Well, hello, my friend, and thank you for joining me as we continue our journey through Genesis to discover more and more about the Lord and His ways through the portraits of God that we find there. So today, I want to show you a portrait of God as our faith tester, and it's the story of Abram, soon to be called Abraham, as God came to him with an incredible message, a surprising message, actually a shocking message. Check it out in Genesis 12. 1 through 2 with me, will you? Go forth from your country and from your relatives and from your father's house to the land which I will show you. Now let me stop there a moment. He's not even telling where we're going. No destination is named. I just want you to head in that direction. Destination to be named later. And then he goes on to say, and I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. Now we can zip to that last part and go, ooh, what a cool thing. With that kind of a promise from God, off you go. But wait, God is taking them away from everything that has been so familiar and comforting to him. Hey, isn't that what's happened with this COVID thing? All that's been familiar and comforting to us has been taken away. It's a whole new world, and we're heading in a destination not exactly known as far as how things are going to be working out in schools and in churches and in finances and jobs. And the world as we know it is very changed. And we're discovering it is indeed a faith testing time. You know, I can remember God taking me and my family through these faith testing times, these epic times, a couple of them in particular, when God said, it's time to resign your position here in this church, but he hadn't told me where he was taking me yet. It happened back in 1990 when I was in Fort Worth, when God said, hey, son, it's time to resign here, but to test it, I went to my wife, because the Bible says to test the spirits, these impressions. I said, honey, I'm getting an impression it's time for us to resign. I know we have 3 little boys, and I don't know what the next church or position or job will look like. All I know is I'm sensing that the Lord is saying it's time for me to resign, but please pray about it. Take as long as you want to, and if you start bearing witness for that, let me know. And if not, I understand. We just need to be together on this and trying to discern the heart of God. And she came back a few days later and said, I'm sensing it. And we took that Abraham kind of step away from something. But fast forward a few weeks, the day that I announced it to our church family where I was, that I was going to be leaving, there was a man there in Texas, all the way from here in Fort Myers, Florida, who was on a search committee not looking for me because I already had a place. But when he heard my announcement, he came right to me and he said, I didn't know you were going to be available. Can I talk to you about maybe coming to Florida to do a replant, a new church start? Folks are trying to get off the ground but struggling. And to make a long story short, that's how I ended up here. But he would not have asked had I not taken that faith step. Oh, my friend, God's going to be calling us to do a lot of faith steps, heading us in a particular direction, destination to be named later. Remember, he is our faith tester. And when we do walk in that kind of faith in him, he will bless us. So, be listening for those whispers of God. Test him with your mate and those you trust, and take those steps.